Social media, television, and music have all over-sexualized our brains to the point that men no longer have control. Your lizard brain constantly tells you need to bust a nut. Good elephant. Touch it, jerk off now. The cool thing is that being sexually disciplined is the cheat code for winning in every aspect of life. It sounds good on the surface, but desexualizing your brain, especially as a man with high testosterone, might be borderline impossible. That means just with the tiniest bit of discipline and work ethic, you are already ahead of 90% of people. It won't be 90%, it will be 99.9%. So today I'm going to give you the only 5 steps you need to desexualize your brain. Don't worry, bro. I'm not talking about those no-fap guys, okay? We do not associate with those freaks. So for now, let's get into it. The first step is to stop watching porn. Now listen, this may sound obvious, yet 99% of young people simply cannot stop because they are obsessed with women. Being obsessed with women makes you desperate, and from an evolutionary standpoint, this is worse than being ugly or lower status. Women are biologically programmed to look for a guy that will ensure her survival, his own survival, and the survival of their children. If this guy is obsessed and needy over her, you will automatically turn her off. On top of that, you can't even talk to women because your confidence is trash. So to start your sexual discipline journey, you have to start by quitting pornography. Research shows that those that consume pornography have lower sexual desire and lower sexual satisfaction. Now, the important part with the research is that it also proved that as soon as you stop the pornography, you revert all the negative side effects. Cool. You realize the importance of quitting porn, but as I said, it's not that simple. There are certain things that lead you to that site that you need to fix first, and tips 2 through 5 will show you how to fix those things to become sexually disciplined and the benefits that it will bring your life. Now, the second step, stop going on TikTok or Instagram to look for pornography. This will increase your motivation. Every time you ejaculate, you drain your masculine energy. When you ejaculate, oxytocin, vasopressin, and prolactin are all released. The last two put your body in a relaxation state, which is why you get tired. Prolactin has been linked to the feeling of sexual satisfaction. So not only do you get tired, but you also remove any motivation to pursue or become better, to become more attractive, to attract a girl you actually want. Because why would you? You've already released prolactin. You are sexually satisfied. So I need you to become sexually disciplined and stop going on social media looking for pornography. I know most of you aren't just diving onto Pornhub. Instead, you're going on TikTok, on Reddit, on Instagram looking for porn. What ends up happening? You have too much time on your hands in a day because you're not doing anything. You then become unmotivated because you're sad. Then you go to these sites to look for pornography. You're looking for a girl twerking, something that stimulates you. And once you find it, you go down a rabbit hole. After a few minutes, that's not enough. So where do you end up? Pornhub. You need to cut the problem at its source. You don't realize it, but any picture, audio, or video that sexually stimulates you is considered pornography. It's not just seeing 2 naked people. Step number 3 is to replace your bad habit with a new activity. So you gotta think, bro, what could you have done with that time that you spent fapping? What could you have done with that time you spent looking at other women? What could you have done with that time you spent watching TikTok? Do not burst out your brain. If you have nothing to fill those hours with, obviously the path of least resistance is pleasure, and you're just going to touch yourself and make yourself feel good. So what if you replace those hours with something else? It could be reading, it could be walking, exercising, finding a new hobby, a new passion, or a new business. Holy shit, bro. I'm not breaking the internet by giving you this advice, but it's just as important not to do something as it is to replace it with something else. And then I want you to apply the 20-hour rule to each of them. The 20-hour rule states that if you focus for 20 hours on a new task, you can become reasonably competent in that task. If you can become disciplined with other things and not go on social media longer than an hour per day, then that is a sign that you can become disciplined in everything else in life. Now here's step number 4, and this one's very important. I know that you probably watch a bunch of these dumbass no-fap disciplines videos on YouTube, and they'll tell you pretty much the same thing, bro. They say, stop fapping, go to the gym, blah blah blah. Here's something that you aren't told because most of these guys are just regurgitating other shit. Step number 4 is leave your house and work in public. Force yourself to work in a public setting, a coffee shop, a mall. If you're a student, go to your campus. any kind of library whatsoever. Bring your laptop with you and just get outside of your house, because I guarantee 99% of the fapping you do is in your bedroom. Why? Because in your bedroom, your door's locked. Nobody else is in there. Nobody knows what you're doing in there. So you could basically become a dick terrorist for 20 minutes, 30 minutes, hours of the day, and nobody even knows. But obviously, you can't do that in public, bro. It's just like when you're around your grandma, you can't swear. I hold back so many of the F-bombs and bad words that I want to say when I'm around my grandma because I know it's inappropriate. So if you're in public, you're not going to be picking your nose and eating it, just like you're not going to be fapping. So if you have such a problem with this and looking at this kind of content, you can go and sit in a public setting, because I guarantee, bro, there's no way you are going to want to be staring at women online on social media, because people are going to walk by you. They're gonna look at your computer. They're like, yo, what the fuck are you doing, dude? You're gonna get so judged by the people around you. And obviously, you're not going to beat off in public. So this trains you to be like, wait a second, I'm in public. I have to behave like an adult now. And you will do things in the real world that you would not do in your bedroom. Why? Because fear of being judged. But you're actually using this fear of being judged to work for you, not against you. In addition to this, if you are out and around and you're not looking at your screen, all that sex drive, that energy inside of you, it still exists. So you're gonna have to divert that energy elsewhere, which means you could actually go and talk to women in real life. But first, we just need you to get disciplined, okay? You're probably not ready to meet new people yet, but when you are, this leads me perfectly to step number 5, which is to make new friends. Most people are addicted to online content and fapping. Why? Is it because it feels good and our body tells us to do that? Yes, obviously, but the real reason is because you're probably in a lot of pain. You are upset about something. You have anxiety. You have depression. You're bored. Whatever. And that little sexual stimulation that you get gives you just enough energy to numb yourself, to feel good for a little bit. And you're basically chasing that high over and over again. But you wouldn't have this same pain if you were around other people, because at the end of the day, humans crave human intimacy. We need to be around others. We need others to listen to us, talk to us, and we just need to feel normal. That's why so many people get really lonely if they don't see anybody for a couple of hours or even a couple of days. Like, remember during COVID when we were all locked up inside our houses? Everybody was getting super depressed and they were losing their marbles. But that is when social media exploded, because we love seeing all the little heads of people, and that way it makes us feel less lonely. So if you weren't so lonely, you wouldn't even have all this time sitting around waiting to be used by beating your meat, bro, because if you had friends, you'd be out hanging out with them, or you'd be going and making new friends. And when you're around friends, obviously, you're not going to be fapping. In fact, when you're around friends, you're probably going to be doing something productive, and you're probably going to meet women in real life. So it's like a no-brainer. You need to be around other people. That way, you don't feel so empty. And when you don't feel so empty, you're in less pain, and you're less likely to want to cure that pain by touching your meat stick. That's it for me today, boys. I hope you guys enjoyed it. And remember, being sexually disciplined isn't just about control. It's about taking charge of your life and becoming the best version of yourself. Stay focused, stay motivated, and keep pushing forward. I'll see you in the next one.